This presentation represents the first of several monthly updates for the Board of Trustees regarding our right-sizing progress. The presentation will follow the 5 key components of the Empower Transition Plan. 1, supporting our staff, which includes providing VIP service to our staff related to all of the human capital management functions. 2, embracing our families, ensuring we provide VIP service to our families, which includes components of access and enrollment, and ensuring that students and families have selected the appropriate school. 3, ensuring operational readiness, which includes all of the moving components, both on the instructional side and also on the operations side. 4, blending our familia, which is how we implement activities, strategies, and initiatives that ensure that our families are coming together as a unified whole. And 5, connecting to our past and future. This includes how we keep track of all of our documents, how we celebrate our schools within our communities through legacy events and look-back events, and also how we plan for the future in terms of repurposing our buildings. Component 1, supporting our staff, presented by Kimberly Ash, Jenny Arredondo, and Ahmad Sharif.
I'm Kimberly Ash, and I'm going to share with you the Human Capital Management Transition Team information regarding teacher staffing to begin with. For our teacher reassignments, we, of course, followed our Empower plan, making sure that we gave priority to follow the familia if that is what our teacher selected. Preferences were considered and choices were offered to all teachers. We did have 257 teachers that are impacted so far by right-sizing. When we had our allocations, we had 282 with a variance of 25. 10 teachers were not reassigned in round 1 initial reassignments, and 2 PEIA allocations were converted to PE teacher allocations. The majority of the variance comes out of our bilingual and special education openings, which of course we will continue to work on filling for this current school year as well as next. In regards to our instructional assistant staffing, we started with 136 IAs impacted by right-sizing. Our IAs were reassigned using the same process as our teachers, with preferences and choices. We prioritized continuity, where the IA could stay with their teacher team to follow the teacher and the students as part of the placement process when requested. 11 IAs were not placed in round 1 initial reassignments. Those included our PE IAs and some special education inclusion IAs. We have 126 allocations generated for IAs by right-sizing with a variance of 10. We have 11 IAs at this time who have not been provided an initial placement. 16 IAs are also purchased at campuses through the administrative staffing budget. These IAs will be included in the spring staffing budget determinations. Our team is extremely proud of the support we've been able to give our SAISD familia throughout this first semester. Our VIP support for our staff, our IAs, teachers, and the campuses included one-on-one meetings, emails, phone calls, texts, being on campus and being available. We wanted to be sure that our customer service was high quality so that our family felt supported, cared for, and had someone to answer questions and be there throughout this process. As well as the support we've given as a team, we're very pleased to have our campus transition ambassadors as part of our support team. On December 5th, we had our campuses represented for the Campus Transition Ambassador Training. 53 of 58 CTAs attended on December 5th. 33 out of 34 schools have been trained to date. Campus Transition Ambassadors are a liaison between the campus, school leadership, central office, and the transition teams. Both the Access and Enrollment team and ours, the HCM team, see this as the beginning of blending the familia throughout the spring semester. The week of November 27th, our team set out the initial reassignments for our SAISD familia, teachers, and IAs. In round 1 of reassignment, 379 offers went out. To date, we have 22 out of the 379 who have not completed a form. We are very excited to say of the folks who have completed those forms, 83.7 have accepted their initial reassignment, most of whom chose to follow their familia. The positions offered were 253 teachers, 125 IAs, for our total of 379. Our teachers, 204 have accepted, and 95 of our IAs. We continue to monitor acceptance, and we have 94% who have responded to their AAA. On Wednesday, December 13th, our transition team conducted the first of 2 transition pair fairs. Transition pair fair number 1 was held at Breckenridge High School. Campuses with allocations generated by Rightsizing were invited to attend. 22 out of 24 campuses attended the fair. We had 77 participants join us at the fair, and we had several offers. We had 36 teachers and 14 IAs receive recommendations at the fair. For acceptances, 22 teachers and 12 IAs have accepted that position. Combining our initial reassignment and recommendations at the Transition Pair Fair, we have 77 employees pending future placement. We're excited that as we move into the new year, we will first continue our VIP support of all of our staff, all of our campuses, to include on February 3rd, Saturday, we will have our second Transition Pair Fair to again help our employees find a best fit familia for the 24-25 school year.
The information provided is a staffing overview of the Child Nutrition Department. Meals per labor hour is the industry standard utilized in child nutrition programs to establish and monitor staffing standards across the district. Meals per labor hour identify the number of employees needed per site based on the total number of meals served. As a result of rightsizing, cook allocations at closing campuses will be redistributed to receiving campuses. The only allocations that will be eliminated are the manager positions at the closing campuses because receiving campuses currently have a manager in place. Existing managers will be placed in a current department vacancy. As you can see, the department currently has enough vacancies to accommodate all employees impacted by rightsizing. For example, the department has 56 cook vacancies and 27 cooks impacted by rightsizing. Currently, there are 12 manager vacancies and 12 managers have been impacted by rightsizing. The following information details the steps taken by the Child Nutrition Department to place employees impacted by rightsizing into current department vacancies. First, employees at closing campuses completed a survey allowing them to select their top 3 campus choices. Transfers were granted if a vacant position was available. Seniority was used if the same campus selection was made by more than one employee. The child nutrition team met with employees one-on-one if they were unable to transfer into one of their top 3 campus choices. The employees were able to receive an updated department vacancy list to assist in making an alternate campus selection. As of December the 8th, 2023, 14 employees received their first campus choice. 11 employees received their second or third campus choice, and only 5 employees were unable to be placed into one of their top 3 campus choices. This was a total of 39 positions impacted by rightsizing. There is a variance of 9 which can be attributed to retirements, vacancies, or employees who may have been out on leave during this process.
For custodial staffing, the industry standard metric is the building's cleanable square footage. That metric determines the number of staff that we allocate per campus. For rightsizing, our custodial staff at closing campuses will transition to campus vacancies throughout the district They also have the option of transferring to our night support team. Now, all of our staff will keep their current work schedules and titles. As far as our department staffing, as of January 5th, 2024, we currently have 28 custodial vacancies. Those include 3 head custodians, 21 custodial vacancies, and 4 porter vacancies. Our total number of employees impacted by rightsizing is 45. We followed the identical employee replacement plan as Child Nutrition Services, with our custodial teams submitting surveys listing their top 3 choices. Those were granted based on seniority, and as of January 5th, 2024, 3 employees were able to get their first choices, 8 received their second or third choice, and 9 selected other vacancies throughout the district. We're currently working with 20 employees who prefer to wait for additional vacancies to become available at their choice campuses.
Component 2, Embracing Our Families, presented by Diane Fernandez.
The Empowerment Plan outlines or emphasizes our VIP customer service assurances to families. The school empowerment teams, in conjunction with district personnel and campuses, are launching phone banks and attending campus enrollment events to ensure that families receive one-on-one support as they select a campus that is a best fit, best match for their child. We value voice and choice, and during each call we provide families with enrollment options. We understand that the decision in some cases requires research, and therefore we have placed an emphasis on the family experience by providing access to our new school finder and virtual tours so that families can make the best informed decision. We have organized our support efforts into various tiers, placing emphasis and prioritizing the first round of phone calls to families in which students are moving their school address. This might be as a result of a merger for a specific grade level population, redesign, or school closure. These families are part of our Tier 1 support efforts. The second tier of support are the students that will remain on the campus for a temporary basis until construction is complete. The third phase of our support plan are those grade levels at impacted campuses that are transitioning from 5th to 6th grade. Each campus has a designated school empowerment team that is supporting with outreach efforts to families. This support includes an individualized phone call and on-site support during campus events. All phone calls and outreach efforts are logged into a student tracker. The student tracker is a monitoring tool to ensure that we capture all communication touchpoints. We have encountered numerous scenarios in which messages have been left or phone calls or email addresses are no longer valid. The tracker allows us to view the efforts by student and by campus and to ensure that a second round of communication is provided if we were unable to make contact. Phone calls are made daily and the following data is collected by campus. Each phone call or family outreach attempt is logged. To date, we have over 2,000 phone calls or student contact attempts. The data represents the number of phone calls, contact attempts per campus. Please note that the number does not represent the total student population. Rather, the information is reflected of the phone calls made to families. For example, we use a sibling count at each campus and organize our phone bank efforts by family rather than student to ensure that duplicate calls were not made if the parent or guardian had more than one child enrolled at the same campus. The slide indicates the number of completed surveys in total and by campus. Please note that families have the option to apply for choice and to submit a transfer to a neighborhood school. At this time, close to 60% of the families have accepted the newly assigned home campus for their child, while 40% have elected choice by submitting a transfer or choice school application. Students who fall into this category are provided priority placement during the lottery. We have created a series or playlist for families to explain the lottery process. To ensure accessibility to resources before or after outreach methods, we aim to provide families with resources in a central repository. Therefore, a landing page was created to guide families as they are making a decision for the 24-25 school year. The Enrollment Hub page can be found at www.enrollmenthub.org. www.saisd.net/enroll. The Enrollment Hub page provides access to the intent survey for families impacted by rightsizing. It includes our new School Finder, where families can enter their address and find schools in close proximity. They can explore the academic offerings, extracurricular activities, and the admission requirements for the campus. If a family is unable to visit a campus, virtual tours are provided. We continue to update the page to ensure that families receive information to make the best informed decision. Our commitment efforts are centered around the family experience, empathy, and meeting our families where they are.
Component 3, Ensuring Operational Readiness, presented by Becky Landa, Yvonne Little, Jenny Arredondo, and Nathan Graff.
Ensuring operational readiness begins with the coordination amongst a cross-functional team that includes all pertinent stakeholders in both the instructional and operational sides of the district. The image on the right side of this slide depicts the types of resources that belong within each area. Our work will include a synergistic approach whereby we collectively understand the scope of the work and then work together in a creative, innovative, and productive manner to meet our objectives. This will include both cross-departmental collaboration and progress monitoring. On the instructional side, we have 4 priorities that will commence this work. The first is the way in which we coordinate and streamline our communication to the campus point of contact and offer a monitoring system with cross-departmental checkpoints and timelines. Our approach will include an abridged version of the Empower Plan, specific to the moves that we will refer to as the Operational Readiness Administrator Guide. In this guide, principles and points of context will have a monthly priority list with collective timelines as they pertain to both the instructional and operational sides. We want to make certain that schools and departments can track our progress and have clarity of the work. Our second priority is the retention of school records. We will work with schools to understand the legal requirements for appropriate record retention and plan for archiving and early shredding of expired records in March. This effort will include academic and school leadership guidance as a verification and archiving process will be implemented. Record storage will also be finalized to ensure proper security. Our third priority is the most labor-intensive lift to commence our operational readiness. This work involves our library collections and textbook resources. There are 35 libraries that are impacted. Some will be closing the library space while others are receiving or sending resources to the new blended schools. In total, 32 library collections first have to be weeded, whereby we remove books no longer viable, such as outdated nonfiction books, before splitting and merging collections. Consider a school that was once a pre-K-8 campus and now will only serve pre-K2 students. These collections will have to be touched before any actual movement of resources takes place in the summer. One of our greatest challenges is that out of the 32 schools, we have only 4 certified librarians that can accomplish this task independently due to their professional understanding of collection development. The remaining schools will need guidance. We expect to hire retired librarians and offer extra duty pay to current librarians to help with this effort. The textbook inventory and early surplus removal of out-of-adoption textbooks that are ready for disposal will be handled by the district through our academic warehouse and facility staff. This work is similar to the library collections, whereby we are clearing space before adding more resources. A temporary staging and storage space has been identified. Our fourth priority pertains to the early notification to parents about the annual summer learning program. Due to all of the expected right-sizing movement of resources this summer, Summer Learning 2024 will have a limited number of district offerings. The traditional high school programs will not be impacted. We will offer credit recovery, end-of-course exam preparation, dual credit summer courses, as well as the state or grant required programs such as Emergent Bilinguals for rising kindergarten students and the P-TECH summer programs. The newly blended schools will have the opportunity to offer a campus design 1-week summer program at no cost to the families, with transportation and nutrition included. This program will serve as a kickoff to the new blended school, serving as an early intervention program for identified students. We anticipate these programs to commence 1 week prior to the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year. The schools will design their own curriculum and manage their programs to meet their instructional needs. For families in non-right-sizing schools looking for summer learning opportunities for elementary students, our team is working with the City of San Antonio Parks and Recreation to open as many SAISD sites as possible for their summer programs. Thus far, we have 13 sites identified. They will not have any construction, repairs, or right-sizing moves. Parks and Recreation offers full-day programs for children ages 6 to 12. There is an enrollment fee using the same sliding scales offered during the after-school programs.
The following slides reflect the work that Operations is conducting to ensure facility readiness. The table on this slide describes the original Bond 2020 scope planned and in some instances already executed. The column on the far right shows proposed scope that is currently under development. Information from our facilities conditions assessment and space program evaluations will drive the development of this scope. In order to guide the facility readiness plan, we have put together a detailed milestone list that aligns with the timeline on the Empower Plan. Shown here are the high-level milestones: validation of scope, space, program needs, procurement of resources, execution of the scope, transportation of material resources, and finally, decommissioning of excess furniture and equipment. The framework used to drive any reallocation of bond funds will be evaluated in this priority. Fulfill scope that supports critical facility functionality, enhancement of safety and security to foster safe and secure learning environments for our students and staff, and to ensure all learning environments are supported with efficient climate conditions.
The following information is an overview of the Child Nutrition Facility Readiness Plan. As facilities have been assessed, 2 groups of receiving campuses have been classified as high priority. The first group of schools, Woodlawn Hills, Highland Hills, and Foster, have been classified high priority due to limited seating capacity in the dining room. The department is currently working to reallocate furniture to increase and maximize seating capacity. Additionally, the child nutrition team will work with campus administration to establish meal schedules that align with seating capacity. The second group of schools, Lowell, Washington, Highland Hills, and Gates, have been classified high priority due to the need for added refrigeration and freezer equipment. The current equipment is not sufficient due to the increase in enrollment. Equipment purchases will need to occur and do require the approval of the Texas Department of Agriculture. Food delivery schedules can be adjusted pending equipment lead times. All other receiving campuses have been identified as medium to low priority because surplus equipment from closing campuses can be moved to offset the increase in enrollment. The refrigeration and freezer units displayed help demonstrate the needs of the high priority campuses. Currently, Lowell, Washington, Highland Hills, and Gates are outfitted with reach-in units. They have limited storage capacity and are primarily stored in campus dining rooms, which take up space that can otherwise be used for student seating. Walk-in units are ideal due to the large storage capacity. They do require a dedicated location inside a Kitchener campus to fabricate. The use of portable units are also being considered because once all moves and construction projects are final, they can be removed and used at a different campus location. Child Nutrition is working closely with planning and construction to deliver a viable option for the campuses identified.
Hi, my name is Nathan Graff, and I'm happy to provide a right-sizing update on transportation. Since 2017, our daily bus ridership has increased by 26%. This is due to more efficient routing and greater community outreach of our services. From January through June 2024, transportation will have a bus phone bank. We will check on transportation needs for our families, facing hazardous conditions and create routes as needed. In January and February of 2024, we will create rough routes on paper that our bus drivers will then drive for practice. We currently transport about 17% of our student enrollment. This percentage was used to estimate the possible number of students we will transport under rightsizing. From March through May 2024, we will hold school bus events at each campus impacted by rightsizing. Students and parents will be able to ride the bus and see the planned route for the 24-25 school year. The safety features of the bus will also be demonstrated. We will incorporate these events into our rolling reader program and also distribute reading books. Our bus drivers receive over 25 hours of annual safety training each year. This safety training will be put into use when at least 2 dry runs of every route is completed before the first day of school. When enrollment data is finalized in June 2024, the bus routes will be reviewed one last time and refined as needed. Final bus routes will be communicated to parents via schools, phone banks, home visits, and the web. Nationwide school bus driver shortage continues to this day in K-12 schools. Some districts have had to cancel school or are even paying parents $300 a month to transport their kids due to the bus driver shortage. SSD has been fortunate in that we have largely avoided a shortage through year-round recruitment and over 17 annual fund retention programs. We currently have 131 bus routes compared to 120 bus routes. This leaves us with a cushion of 11 bus drivers. Over the next 5 months, we anticipate losing 15 drivers and gaining 25 more. In addition, we project adding 10 more bus routes due to rightsizing. That being said, our projected bus driver cushion for August 2024 is 11. Our goal is to always have at least 10% more drivers than our bus route count. Even when this cushion is met, we still continue to hire at the same intensity.
Component 4, Blending Our Familia, presented by Beth Jones.
The Blending Our Familia section was released with the updated Empower Plan after the board decision on rightsizing in November. Blending Our Familia is a draft of resources, events, and activities for immediate use by principals to support their students and families through the transition. Throughout Blending Our Familia, there are resources such as a parent tip sheet, templates, scripts, and other components linked in, ready for use. The principal will develop a plan for transition that is tailored to the specific and unique needs and aspects of their campus. Blending Our Familia is broken into 5 components: processing feelings, getting acquainted, honoring our buildings, blending our familia, and checking in. These activities extend into the 2024-2025 school year to ensure that all of our students impacted by rightsizing are thriving. The principal of the newly blended school may use any of the activities or resources in Blending Our Familia, or may add or design other activities as needed to meet campus needs. While the draft of resources and activities is currently available, feedback from campus-level staff and community is needed to finalize the process for creating the identity of newly blended or merging campuses. This includes determination of how to treat mascots, school colors, or school songs. 2 incubators were held in December and were comprised of parents or grandparents, teachers, principals, assistant principals, instructional specialists, FACE specialists, and members from the San Antonio Alliance. In January, design incubators will continue for specific groups such as parents, parents of children with autism, students, and teachers.
Component 5, Connecting to Our Past and Future, presented by Patty Salzman. We are beginning to develop the elements that will guide how we honor our past and look forward to our future. Among the many actions we will take over the next several years, 5 will serve as the anchor for this component of the Empower Plan. First, we'll establish a district document custodian to create policies related to the maintenance of current and historical records, including a comprehensive inventory and archiving procedure. Next, we'll be collecting records, photos, and other memorabilia and artifacts to begin archiving SAISD's rich and beautiful history. One way we will do this is through a virtual museum. Our plan is to work with area historians, alumni, former employees, and others to capture the history of SAISD since its inception and share this information in digital form, including audio and video, similar to NPR's StoryCorps, to capture the rich oral history of the district and make it available to the public on our website. Similarly, we'll seek a site where we can establish a schoolseum, where students can see the rich history of SAISD and the ways in which SAISD students have grown, graduated, and gone on to transform the world in positive ways. Again, we'll work with local historians, museums, the SAISD Foundation, the Hall of Fame Committee, and others to create a resource-rich site that would serve as a field trip opportunity for our students in elementary through high school. We would host final look events. Similar to the Burbank experience, we will host final look events to allow our community an opportunity to have a last look to honor the history of the schools that have meant so much to our community. And finally, we are currently working on selecting a repurposing panel to help us plan and conduct community engagement events for the purpose of finding partners that can provide services within communities that are supported by our community. These repurposing efforts are very important, and we will be engaging in this work over the next several months. This work is serious work, and we intend to engage in it thoughtfully so that the end result is that our communities are richer and stronger as a result of our partnerships. This concludes our Rightsizing update. We will be bringing you more in-depth information at future meetings. We welcome your questions, comments, and insights. Thank you.